Hello everybody, my name is Alba. I am the trainer in pink, and today we are talking about problems that new runners face and things that they can do to avoid any issues. So my entire goal is to educate, inspire, and empower women to be their best self, and doing so in God's design. So is running part of God's design? Absolutely. He designed our bodies to be able to run both voluntarily and involuntarily. Think fight or flight there. And so, but what ends up happening, especially right now, the weather is gorgeous and people are thinking, oh man, what a great hobby it would be for me to start running again or running for the first time, be outdoors. Or they're thinking, oh crap, summer's coming and I need to hurry up and I'm gonna use running as a way to lose weight. Well, the most difficult part of that is people try to go from being a couch potato to trying to run 3 to 5 miles a day, and they wonder why their body kind of ends up failing them. And so I want you guys to avoid that feeling because it sucks. I want you guys to just be able to go out there and rock it. And so that's why I am making this video for you today. So the first thing that I want to talk to you guys about is making sure that you don't do too much too fast. As easy and simple as that sounds, it's something that happens all the time. So first thing, obviously, we know we can't go from doing nothing to doing a whole lot. And so making sure that you have a program in place that is progressive and is going to be fitting for you, that is point number one and incredibly important in your success. The next part of that is also making sure that you're fueling your body right. Because a lot of times people will, they get sick shortly after they start exercising. And you should be listening to your body when that happens, because what that means is you're not fueling your body properly for the exercise that you are committing yourself to. So that could mean making sure that you're properly hydrated, making sure you're actually not drinking too much water when you start running, particularly obviously while you're running, and then also making sure you're eating the proper foods. Fuel was the other word that almost came out of my mouth. And so, for instance, if you are trying to do this to lose weight and you try to start running, but then you decide that you also want to cut carbs, you're gonna run into issues because your body needs those carbs, aka energy, in order to sustain your run. So, making sure that you don't do too much too fast. Obviously, again, of course, if you have aches and pains, you need to be addressing those, and we're gonna talk more about that here in a second too. So the next one is talking about your shoes. So, okay, don't blame you, but there's those people that go out there and they're like, okay, I'm gonna start running. They go out, buy brand new shoes, and then they run into pain. Ouch, right? So a brand new shoe is perfectly stable, but totally immobile at the same time. So the problem with that is your body has certain mechanics that it's trying to create, and it's not letting that take place because the shoe is brand new. So make sure that you work it in first. It's very easy to just walk a few times in your shoes before you decide to run in them. The same thing goes for the other extreme in wearing old shoes that are too old. So in that case, they're just not doing anything for you. They're not very supportive. You also want to pay attention to the different technologies in shoes. So you have like your standard sneaker, large sole, all the way to a barefoot shoe, which is really fantastic, but you have to train yourself for that. So if you're trying to go from a regular shoe to a barefoot shoe, that's actually a whole different training program than trying to do running. So pick one or the other, don't try to do both. And then also making sure, if you have a high arch or a low arch or no arch, or if you have unstable ankles, all of that's gonna make a difference in the shoe that you choose. Again, so that your body can naturally do its mechanics and do its thing and work its magic and be amazing for you in your run. Then another thing we want to talk about is not addressing underlying issues. And a lot of times people really don't even know that it's happening. They don't know that they have issues going on. So I had pulled an old client, and I pulled her orthokinetics reports. So orthokinetics is a program that we use we use it as a foundation for all of our clients because it allows us to see postural deviations, muscular imbalances before they really become an issue. And if they already are an issue, we can look at the body holistically and making corrections. So in this case, so she was quite fit, And she didn't have a whole lot of stuff going on, so she was a really good example. So we see here that her knees are both, well, this one's biased to external rotation, and this one really doesn't want to go in either direction. And so what that means is her body's not going to load properly. And actually, while we're here, we can also see that each of her metatarsals are also externally rotated. And so natural mechanics of the foot. So let's start with walking. So when you're walking, you have the heel strike, you have, so pretend this is a foot, okay? So you have the heel strike, your foot comes down to pronate. That's your first area of shock absorption. If you don't have that, because maybe you have high arches or you don't have arches, then that means you're going to be creating a greater impact somewhere else along the chain. Remember that running is a repetitive motion. So every single step you take is either going to have a positive impact in your body or a negative one. And so it's up to you and making sure that you prepare your body for the actions that you decide to put it through. So for running, for instance, so we get that first area of the shock absorption, and in that, it also allows the tibia to slightly internally rotate. So as you can see, for this pretty healthy gal, we have some things to address first. This external rotation taking here, this knee here that doesn't want to externally or internally rotate, so it's a little stuck on that side. And then these metatarsals that are also biased to eversion. She also has, you can see some rotations in here, which means she's probably going to power through more with one side and not so much with the other. And then she also has this hyperextension going on in her lumbar spine, which actually perfectly goes into our next segment of properly activating your core. So runners especially, they are incredibly passionate and dedicated, but what ends up happening, what I see, is I'll have people that have knee pain, knee problems, they'll have back pain, even sciatic issues, and they will still run. I mean, give them credit for dedication, right? But guys, it's okay to take a step back, address that issue, and then go back to running. You will have such a greater response. Your body's going to respond so much better. You're going to be able to go into that run without limitations, without pain. If you're addressing those issues, you'll be able to run further, faster, all good things. So by all means, take that step back to have those issues addressed, and then go for it. Because when you don't have anything holding you back, it's kind of like if you have the emergency brake. If you're driving your car and you have the emergency brake on, why would you want to do that? You run into problems. So this is a way for you to get rid of your emergency brake. Anyway, so you can go. So not activating your core properly. Let's get back on track, Alba. So we talked about the running being a repetitive motion. So if you're looking at your spine, an unstable spine, so this is a spine, I just made it out of my hands, yes, skilled. Okay, so if we're running and the spine is unstable, because we're not activating our core properly, you can see how that would be an issue, right? Every single step I take, I'm gonna make thousands of them, depending on how far I go. But in between each of those vertebrae, you also have nerves. And so particularly for the sciatic people, or people that just are experiencing pain, that obviously creates problems. And so again, you want to make sure that you're addressing that. And how easy is it for you to just properly activate your core while you're running, and create a better response? And then not only that, but then you're creating stability to where everything above the chain is going to do better, as well as everything below the chain is going to do better. I once had a physical therapist that, through a client of mine, had she had recommended, hey, she had an issue in her foot, and she said, well, while you're walking, why don't you work on your core? Well, love this physical therapist, by the way, because then it was, okay, let's work on your core. And immediately she had less pain in her ankle while she walked by activating her core. Proof that this works, you guys. Stabilize the core, it'll help everything above the chain as well as below it, and of course protect all those vitals, and be healthy, safe and effective. It's the point of everything. Anyway, y'all, I hope you find this helpful. Again, my name is Alba Hatcher. I am the trainer in pink. I hope you guys are blessed and make it a healthy day. Mwah. Bye.